What is up? What is up? We are live and we got a special guest. Mickey, what is going on? Shout out to you. What is good?
What's going on? What's going on? JC Cowboys Network. What's going on, chat? What's going on, everybody? Hey, happy Tuesday. Hey, I don't know about y'all. I'm still celebrating.
Yeah, man. Hey, most definitely. I'm definitely celebrating. It's so crazy because I haven't been live since, that Friday before the game started. So you already know We're definitely going to turn up. It's so much good things to talk about. And on top of that, on Friday, we will be in the JC Lounge breaking down the other game, the Cardinals. But we got to break down this game. Feels so good. Definitely feel so good about it, man. Let's get straight to it. Dak Prescott. Let me get to him real quick. Let me see. Okay. There we go. Hey, shout out to my man, Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? When you have a guy that's going in there and you already know that you're playing against a defense that's top tier, and for this player to go 31 for 38, 255 yards, and 2 touchdowns, the man was fireworks, y'all. And this is the type of stuff that we need from our player. Mickey, I know you went crazy just seeing the way that he is playing the game. He is operating the game, and just it seems like it's slowing down to him. It feels good. I am so excited to just see his skill set and everybody around him, all the guys, all the wide receivers, the tight ends, running backs, everybody just being on the same page. This is the type of stuff we need, Mickey.
No, I 100%, 110% agree with you, JC. Like I kind of mentioned on my show, like how we kind of see it coming together for Mike McCarthy and his game plan and how he wanted to run the team. It's kind of like at the same time, it's coming together, like you said, for Dak and the team as well. Like I just kind of noticed that, he always kind of took his, receivers under his wing and things like that. And of course, this past with the offseason, taking that trip to Atlanta, taking not just the receivers, but the tight ends, his number ones, number twos, threes, fours, you know what I'm saying? Everybody just kind of getting together on the same page, just that chemistry kind of growing. So we're just seeing that unfold on the field as well. Yep. Like you said, not just with Dak and his leadership skills, but, his on the field skills as well. Like you said, he's able to control the game. We saw him call plays in that third preseason game. So, that along with that, and then that was amazing. And that kind of just like, I don't want to say solidified, because I think the relationship between him and Mike, was growing. Even when Kellen was here, but of course I just think he was like that man in the middle who just, couldn't really, really get, really was kind of stopping, in my opinion, that relationship really from growing to what it is now. So just kind of really having no barriers, their relationship continues to grow. And like you said, his skill set is we're going to finally be able to see what he's fully capable of. And no questions asked, no holds barred, like that. He's able to go all in. It's his offense, his team to run, and then like you say, he's taking it and running with it.
Yeah, big time. That's what I'm saying. Like the thing is, with like Dak Prescott, I've been saying this for the longest, all throughout the all season. Just take your time, pick your shots, and this is exactly what they're doing. They're running the ball, and you got to give credit to all the guys, Mike McCarthy, the wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, everybody has been on the same page. But the thing is with Dak Prescott, if you guys can remember his rookie season, that was one of the best times that I actually liked how he was operating, and the game seemed slow to him. It seemed like he didn't want to put himself in harm's way. He didn't want to make those type of mistakes. But when you have a player that can be able to complete 13 straight completions, that's what you need. And that's exactly what we got out of him when he was a rookie, Mickey.
Right, yeah, and actually I think it would have kept going to maybe 15, 16. I think it was on the receiver who dropped the pass and not on the throw that Dak gave. So just, he was probably still would continue with that streak. But like you said, just having that many consecutive completions in a row and just starting the game off in a nice, easy flow. You have Mike McCarthy's play calling, kind of working through Dak, but he's able to, put it on the field and it's not just, not necessarily all Mike McCarthy, but he's able to see what the defense is giving him at that present time. He has that freedom to be able to go up to the line, change the play if he feels uncomfortable, maybe check into a run play. There were times last year, the Giants game in particular, the second one, just me rewatching it, I think there were, like I kind of mentioned it, a while ago, were times where, Dak was checking out the line, checking out and checking to a run play. And there were times they were, put the camera on Kellen and he would look annoyed. And it's like, hey, we're winning. And my kind of thought process was, I think he was a little bit more annoyed that it wasn't his play going through at the line of scrimmage. It was Dak changing, Dak being smart. And I think that might have been like an early preview, really of what we're seeing now. Like, like I said, there's no one holding Dak back. There's no one, wanting to run their program instead of the team's program. You know what I'm saying? So now Dak is able to really just take full control and we're able to see, what he can do, not just, not just wondering what Mike can put on the field, not what Kellen can produce and what he can produce through Dak. It's, what Dak wants to run, what he wants his offense to do, what receiver he wants to go to, you know what I'm saying? So they're kind of working hand in hand and kind of just putting that trust in each other and just kind of, Mike is giving him that freedom, and he's definitely incorporating what he wants to do, but he's also giving Dak that freedom. Say, hey, what plays do you want? What do you want to run? And Dak is able to control it from there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, just Dak just getting comfortable and just understanding what Mike McCarthy wants out of him, if he can be able to do that. Like, if you think about guys like Kellen Moore, if we all can remember, like he went into games where he's like, I'm going to run these plays, and that's that. Right. There wasn't no type of adjustments or anything like that. The good thing about Mike McCarthy, he has about 3 different game plans in his back pocket throughout the game. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Just let that sink in for a second. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing, the difference when it comes down to guys like Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy, but just getting out there and just getting the reps in, understanding with the wide receivers, because when he was a head coach over at Green Bay, they had the James Jones, they had the Donald Drivers, they were deep over there, and it's the same thing with Jalen Tolbert. Shout out to him and all the rest of the guys, CeeDee Lamb. So I'm so proud, and it is just good to see this type of football because it's definitely hard to beat. Let me go to the comments real quick. Shout out to everybody. What's up, Nisi? Shout out to you. What's up? Shout out to everybody.
How you doing, Steph? Good to see you, Nisi.
I know, right? Shout out to my man Big Dog. What's good? What's good, bro? Eastside, he always hate, man. What's good, bro? What is going on? Let me see. Okay, shout out to Nisi. She said finally some complimentary football from this team. Exactly. Amen. This is exactly what we need. And it's great to see games like this, guys. Like when you go into the season, I remember I think it was like 2014 or 2015. I can't really remember, but sometimes games get a little boring. You know what I'm saying? They get boring, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing because we can be able to get a lead and the score being 70 to 10 in these last 2 games, that says a lot for this team. And I'm excited. I can't wait to see how it all plays out with the offense and the defense.
Yeah, that's really insane. Like you said, and them scoring 50 points before another team even put up points on the board it really just says a lot. Like it really says that. And of course they made it more about the defense, of course, but they want to forget that the offense put up points too. But it's not necessarily about the defense dominating. It's just about both sides of the ball going out there, showing that they're both capable of putting points up on the board. And it's not just about points, but it's also about being competent, about being smart, about being able to execute. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just about putting. And Mike McCarthy even. People who try to take that and run with it, saying, "Oh, Mike McCarthy say he doesn't want to light up the scoreboard. He's taking shots at Kellen." But if people, they just, take a second and look deeper and just think deeper about his comments. Yes, it's about not lighting up the scoreboard, but 70 to 10. That people will say that's quote unquote lighting up the scoreboard. But it's also about being smart about like we've seen these past 2 games. Make sure you're implementing your run game, making sure you're keeping your players safe, not putting them in crazy situations. Yes. We were leading in both those games, but imagine, I'm sure there were some games we could maybe not think of, I can't think of right off the top of my head right now, but I'm sure there's some examples we can think of where we had to lead, i.e. Green Bay last year.
Jaguars.
We come out home. I mean, we've seen that a couple times with the Jets coming out with 3 and outs. And it's crazy, for us to be on the other side celebrating the team having a 3 and out, but usually it's us having the 3 and out.
Yeah, facts. Okay, so I did want to go here real quick because I did like to see this. Like the thing is with Dak Prescott, just having that 83.7 QBR, and he's leading right now in the league. And I know this is the type of thing, like stats right here that keeps him going. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like versus back when with Kellen Moore, it really wasn't like that. It was you were trying too hard, you were doing too much. But the thing is, like Dak Prescott, you don't have to be the best quarterback in the league. But as you can see, like people like Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy is a solid quarterback, but he's the type of guy, right, that he's right with Dak Prescott as far as the QBR, but it's the same type of formula. He's trying to give the ball to his playmakers and keep himself out of harm's way. That's the same thing that we need to do with Dak Prescott. We know that he has the skill set, Mickey. He can be able to run the ball, he can pick his shots, he can throw the deep ball, but whenever is there, Mickey, that's when we're supposed to go out there and go hit it. And I think that if we can continue to do this, hey, we're going to dominate all season. So. Yeah, and I definitely agree with you. And I'm actually glad you brought that up because we actually seen that in the first drive of the game, Dak using his legs. And I ain't gonna lie, like the first couple, seconds, I was like, go Dak, go. But of course, toward the end,
when he kind of went sideways, I was, definitely crossing my fingers. But seeing him hop back up, like just seeing his energy, and not being afraid to take those chances, especially early in the game. I'm sure the crowd.
He was a runner.
He's able to go out there and strive for his team. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, throughout college. I mean, he's always been a runner, Mickey. You know what I mean? So that's the thing that gets Dak Prescott going. You got to implement everything with him, but he's going to have to learn how to slide. You don't want to do the Lamar Jackson, the RG3 type of stuff, the Josh Allen. You don't want to put yourself in harm's way because we all know that the quarterback position is very, very important. And if we're going to get to where we want to go, he's going to have to stay healthy, but it's just the little things, guys. It's the little things. Yeah. And I think if he can be able to continue to keep doing that, this offense is going to run like a juggernaut.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, facts. Hey, shout out to Double R. What's good, bro? What's good? I know Double R always come through and show us love. Shout out to you. Hey, shout out to my man Brian. He said in the past, after a blowout win, the next week they'd come out flat. Not this game. It's so crazy that you said that because my last live stream, we did mention that. We were talking about, after you blow a team out, usually, they do come out flat. But I told my man, Captain Rob, I said, you can just tell by the energy of this team, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, that this team is different. They're not going to sit there and fold. But my thing is, I don't want it to get to a point where you see how like they hyping us right now. They got us at the number 2. It's like they doing too much. Just
and notice that I don't mean to cut you off, but notice that it's in week 2. It's not after week 1. It's in week 2 when they're starting to think, okay, maybe they might be for real.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't buy into what all the 4-letter and 3-letter networks are talking about. Just do your job and just understand that this is the NFL, and you can be able to get scraped if you're not focused and locked in. So just lock in every single game, and I think that we'll be good. We'll be ready to rock and roll.
Hey, amen to that. I mean, of course we know what teams they are, but we did see the Cardinals, and we did see who was it? I think it was Broncos. Lose 2 very big leads, of course, to our division. Our division is definitely playing stronger this year, but it's like you said, anyone can be in danger of losing a lead in the game.
Yeah. Shout out to Big Dow. He said Mike doesn't force the blowout. He just lets it happen. Big time. He takes his time. He literally dissects defenses. And I think we ran the ball. Chat box, let me know. I think it was 44 times this game.
Yes. We had a total of 83 plays in this game. 83 plays. 83. I think that it's just like I was mentioning earlier about Mike McCarthy's philosophy. Like you can tell it's just all over this team. Like because we even heard him in the offseason speak about how he wants to be more efficient with the play clock. He wants to get more plays on. He wants to get more plays out there. He wants the team to have up tempo. He wants to convert first downs. He wants to keep the ball like you said with the time of possession. Over 40 minutes of being on the field, like that's I don't say unheard of. I know we've seen it before, but for our Cowboys, for our offense to be on the field for over 40 minutes and to be dominating is definitely says something.
And the thing is, what it's going to do is I don't even care if it's the Jets defense, the 49ers defense, any defense that's in the NFL. Right. When you're controlling the clock like that and you're running the ball at a rate that we were, the good thing about it is, guys, like if we continue to keep doing this, just running the ball, even if it's not working, if it's not working, you got to stay true to it because eventually the play action is going to come. And one thing, I'm really happy about Brian Schottenheimer. You know what I mean? Yes. Just so building that chemistry within that offensive line. These are the guys that's going to be in the back burner that we're not going to hear about. They're not going to talk too much about. You're going to hear so much praise with Mike McCarthy and the defense. But guys like Brian Schottenheimer getting these guys together on the offensive line. This is why I was
Coach Laurie too as well.
Yeah, Zach Martin getting to the second level. Everybody being on the same page as far as like Tyler Biotish. Shout out to him too.
Hey, JC, Biotish is becoming look my favorite person on that line. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. Shout out to Big Dow. He said 44 times that we rushed the ball. Like it's been a long time that we were doing this. I think we were doing that. I don't know. Probably 2014 when we had DeMarco Murray that year, or possibly 2016. But when you're doing that and you're operating like that, it opens up the whole playbook. And that's when these defenses, guys, they get the biting. And then we all know when it comes down to Dak Prescott, he's the best when it comes down to people blitzing at him. So that's what we want, because once they get antsy, you're running the ball and you're being successful running the ball. They get antsy, and then that's the next thing you know, that's when we can pick our shots with Brandon Cooks and we can let this thing roll.
Exactly. I feel you on that. And like I said, I'm glad you mentioned the O line because, like you said, them coaches are really getting these young guys ready. Like seeing these, like it was a lot of discussion last year about how we were talking about Tyler Smith being thrown into that left guard position, and we were wondering how, or even left tackle when Tyler went down, we were wondering how he was going to be just kind of thrown in there. But we're seeing 2-3 instances of that this year. TJ Bass, Austin Richards, that's they of course they played preseason, they got those snaps in. But I'm gonna be honest. I didn't expect to see them in the first 2 games. I'm saying, of course, injuries happen. We know that, but to see them go out there and shout out to Chuma Edoga as well. Him, he put that grind in him and the other 2 pretty much, kind of just making it seem like the transition has been seamless from the first to second team because Dak has had a lot of time in that pocket. As we know, last weekend, I don't know about this past weekend, but the last weekend he got the ball out the fastest out of the entire all quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, hey, you just mentioned that offensive line too. So this is what I want you to do, Mickey. Talk to him, Mickey. Talk to him. hey, Mickey, let him know everything that he's been doing, all the talent he's been bringing. Man,
look, we gotta be praising this man right here. Will McClay has just really and of course, I think shout out to the coaches over there, because no one guy does it by themselves over there. But this guy when it just comes to picking talent, this guy has just really done it for us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna say he never failed us, but just the consistency. For me, it's just consistency. Just have these guys come in, and even if they aren't all the way, fully ready to go, just bring in guys who have the potential to be coached up. Because you can bring in guys and they may be able to be coached up, but they may not have the talent, or they may have the talent but not the ability to learn or the ability to want to learn or put the work in. We've seen when Lyle Collins was here. Not saying he wasn't a good player, but if you're going to cheat the system, we don't. And some people talk about maybe possibly bringing him back. I don't mind him for a depth piece. Not saying I do want him, but depth is always nice. But sometimes when you bring in like a different attitude in the locker room, or someone who may not be on the same page, it and not saying it will, but it's possibly that it could mess up that synergy they have going on right now.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. When it comes down to Will McClay, like I am just so excited of all the talent that he's bringing in, and it's crazy because you mentioned guys like Lyle Collins. If we all can remember, Terrence Steele, once he got in, he just took off. You know what I mean?
Right. We really didn't hear no more about Lyle.
At all. And the thing is, like, just being around guys like Zach Martin, Tyler Biotish is learning as well. All of these young guys, you just said Awesome Richards, TJ Bass, they're getting in there, they're getting burned. So just in case, it's a long season. It's a very, very long season. And that's part of the reason why with Micah Parsons, I want him to make sure that he stay healthy as well. It's a very, very long season. But as far as the offensive line and Will McClay just bringing in these guys like Deuce Vaughn at the running back position, that's another reason why I say that you do not need to be drafting no running back in the first and second round. Mickey, we've been talking about it all season.
Not at all, right? No, I feel you. And even with networks, now starting. Not just now, but of course before season started and kind of coming into now, networks realizing that he might have been a quote unquote steal for us. It's like, you think so? Like, a lot of people want to look at the story of how his dad's on the team, but even if he wasn't, like, we see the talent this guy that Deuce has. We see, and even early, like I didn't expect to see him in the first quarter, not against, not this early. We saw him late last week, but seeing that he is able to get on the field, get his feet underneath him, just getting the feel for the game. And if we're putting him, in my opinion, if we're putting him in this early in the season, like it'll be crazy to see what number one, what he'll be conditioned to towards the end of the season if he was able to get more snaps. Like you said, knock on wood, injuries happen, but hopefully, they don't happen in the running back room. But if they do later on down the line, we'll be able to see Deuce a little bit more and see what we saw him turn up in preseason, those big, those first plays.
But the good thing is, it's going to take some time. I like what Rico Dotto has been doing at the running back position. Yes. Deuce Vaughn going out there, just implementing him, getting him into the system. It's going to take time with him, but I think that with his type of ability, his stop quickness, he is so quick. He is one of the guys that can be able to take it the distance any given play. And I think that Mike McCarthy has things dialed up for him. And I think that, eventually, as the season goes along, you don't want to be overdoing it when it comes down to guys like Tony Pollard. Shout out to him because he did have himself a good game. I think he had 20 25 rushes, Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah, 72 yards, 7 receptions for 37 yards, and then he had that 2-point conversion. So I mean, just going out there, I got him in all my fantasies. I've been saying it for a long time.
I heard that. Yep.
I know. So just you don't want to overdo it, because if you can remember, think back to 2014 when we had DeMarco Murray. We ran him into the ground in that contract year. They try to do it for these running backs. Yeah. So I love Tony Pollard. He's special.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned him. And it's not just about the running back room, but I just think it kind of goes hand in hand with Mike's philosophy, because last year we kind of worked. I'm not saying we were focused on our playmakers, but like Mike mentioned last year, like having a play call sheet for each one of your playmakers, and I guess we call them playmakers, but we have a hell of a roster, and we're just being all the way real. So we have a lot of playmakers at every level. So just I credit also that to Mike, because we may have we have CD, we know we have Gal, we play in a contract, we know we have Cooks, we have those special playmakers, we have Pollard, we have Ferguson, what I'm saying, once he starts getting in his rhythm and catching those balls, we do have those special guys. But knowing that we can have the ability to be able to spread the ball around, not necessarily evenly, but knowing that we can spread the ball around to Gallup, to Cooks, to Tober. We saw him getting some catches. We saw Schoonmaker get a touchdown. So just knowing that, some guys may not have, long play sheets, and they may not have, like you said, for Deuce, they may have practice for him like that. And even them getting Turpin involved. Like, we just have so many
in the backfield.
And some guys may not necessarily be labeled playmaker, but they can make a difference on the field. So just knowing that Mike is really not really taking any player for granted. He's giving everybody a chance to get on that field, put their hand on the ball and see what they can contribute.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's like, man, like, it's so much talent that it's not like they are just focusing on just one guy. We all know when it comes down to CeeDee Lamb, shout out to CeeDee Lamb, because he had 11 receptions, 142 yards. He did have that fumble, though. He had that fumble, but just like we said, Tyler Biadasz going out there on a hustle play. This is the type of stuff you see. Whenever I do breakdowns, whenever I do film and stuff like that, that's the type of stuff that I like to pull up, because those are those hustle plays that can be able to keep the ball in your hands. You keep that possession, and you can get a touchdown out of that. That's what we call wetsuit. When I was in high school, every time a ball's on the ground or anything like that, you hurry up to the ball. Wetsuit, that's what you got to learn, man. And it's big, man. Like seeing Tyler Biadasz, and it's just it just shows that everybody's being on the same page, and that's what's gonna make us win a lot of games, Mickey.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Like you said, he was in the right place at the right time last week when Pollard fumbled the ball. So just, I think they mentioned it was credit to Mike, just having them play, fully through the play, being right there at the right spot, playing behind your receivers, playing behind your running back. Like you said, just in case mistakes do happen, because they do happen in the game. Guys are focused on getting to the end zone, if we're being real. So sometimes, balls do fall out. We've seen, like you said, CD dropped the passes or dropped the ball as well. So, like you said, for him to be in the right place at the right time, and also, I just like to give extra credit to Biadasz, because of the guys that we pretty much asked him to face these past couple weekends, like Quentin Williams. Yes, Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence. Like, these guys are for sure no pushover.
Yeah, and he kind of looked like Travis Frederick a little bit too.
before the beer, right? You feel me?
Before the beer, and he was fighting people. He was fighting people all at practice. So that just shows his mentality that you need in the trenches, man. Because we all know, man, when it comes down to the offensive line, that's how we're going to be able to get to where we want to go. We can be able to dictate games. So as far as CeeDee Lamb, like I said, man, I am so proud just to see his progress as a number one receiver, because we all know he came in here as the number 3, but being able to be in a slot, get in and out of his breaks, understand nuanced route running, taking the top off the defense. I mean, he does have speed as well. It's just going to add another dynamic to this offense. And with Mike McCarthy, just seeing that and understanding that you got guys like Brandon Cooks, and he didn't even play this past game.
Right, it's crazy. I'm saying, like, the guys they have in like our roster is really just we're really rocking out with our roster. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really have some guys in like and not just on offensive side, the defensive side as well. We just have we're just really deep on both sides of the ball. Yeah,
big time. I also want to see him in like the jet sweep game as more. You know what I mean? Just put the ball in this guy's hands. We all know that the West Coast offense, I mean, just get these guys in space, quick plays, and that's why Dak Prescott is being so efficient because he's not thinking so much. You know what I mean? And like I said, you don't have to be like
neither of the receivers. Yeah, I feel you.
Yep, you don't got to be like any of those guys, and it's just good just to see it. But just as long as we just keep on keeping on, you know what I'm saying? Running the ball and just going out there and doing what we do best. All right, hey, shout out to Kiana. What's good, Kiana? What's going on? Shout out to you. That's my girl Kiana. What's going on? Shout out to my man Bruce. Got that toxic juice. What's good? He said lounge time. Lounge time. Hey, Bruce, right? It's so crazy. We ended up cutting Ronald Jones. You know what I'm saying? It's so crazy about his situation that and you see how we mentioned the running back position, having all the guys that we have. We ain't really need that guy. We ain't really.
Right. Honestly, I think we probably would have a better chance of keeping him maybe if, like I said, knock on wood. Hopefully nothing happens. You know what I'm saying? But and even if so, like if we have Deuce and Lukey, who are able to run the ball. So I wasn't surprised to see him go. But like you said, we're just so overloaded. You know what I'm saying? And even on practice squad, we got Malik Davis waiting in the wings on practice squad. So it really was. I really didn't see him sticking around, too long.
Yeah, big time. That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, look, man. And when it comes down to it. When it gets down to training camp, mini camp, you got to show up. You can't be getting suspended and all that hot stuff because you got guys like Hunter Lucky. Shout out to my man Stephen White. All these running backs that's coming in there, they want to get some burn on the field. So we'll definitely see. We'll definitely see. Let me go here real quick. I wanted to ask you guys about Jalen Tolbert. So do you guys think that Jalen Tolbert takes Michael Gallup's role? It's so wild to me. It's so wild.
I've been hearing that.
Man,
I think I seen Botch tweet that out yesterday.
Oh, he did, man.
That's right. Actually, I think it was Foster King, and he said, and then Botch kind of quoted it saying possibly by week 5 against the 49ers, he thinks that he might be wide receiver 3. I don't know. My thing is on it. I really want them to target Gallup more to see what he can contribute because he was only targeted, I believe, 2 to 3 times in the Jets game.
See, look, here's the thing. I got a lot of respect when it comes down to Michael Gallup. And I've been saying it for a very long time. But the separation is kind of a little in question right now. I don't know if he's still going through the knee. Sometimes with the knee injuries like that, it takes a long time to be able to recover. But just making those 50-50 catches. And the reason why I've always compared him to guys like Dez Bryant or like a little bit like a poor man's Michael Irvin is because when you catching those slant catches or those digs and you get hit and you still catch the ball anyway, that's how you can be able to set the tone. And he's always done that. Like it's been times where he's gotten blasted and he still catches the ball. And little things like that you can change the momentum for the offense. It can get you going. And momentum is everything. You know what I'm saying? But seeing what Jalen Tolbert has been doing, he's been getting in there. He didn't start off good last year, but just, redeeming himself this year, just having that type of energy, making plays throughout mini camp and training camp. If he continues to keep doing this, Mickey, got to give him some play time. You got to give him some play time.
Yeah.
And he had a third down that he converted that I was like, okay, that's big. And
I think he had a couple third downs he converted. I think he had a couple for third downs he converted to first downs. And I was definitely excited to see that for Tolbert. Like you said, cause it's one thing to go out there and make a catch, you know what I'm saying? And not saying it's nothing because, we see guys drop passes all the time, you know what I'm saying? So it's nothing like that. But, to go out there and make a catch, convert a first down, to feel like you can, to actually, to contribute to your team, to contribute to the success of the drive. I'm saying that, that little by little gets confidence up as well.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Stephen White. What's good, bro? What's good, man? He said, I don't think that knee is solid. Then he said, I've had 5 ACL replacements. Hey, look, ACLs ain't no joke. Hey, I'm glad you're doing good though, Steve. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, because man, when you mess that up, it's so wild. To see my man Nick Chubb go through what he went through with his knee, but he's torn his knee before, so just being careful. I wish him nothing but the best. That type of situation right there is so scary.
It was real bad. I ain't gonna lie. I was sad to see Chubb go down because he plays so hard for the Browns. He plays so hard for them.
Yeah, straight up beast, and it's just wild to see that. But as far as like the knees and stuff, you just gotta get it right. And just take your time because it's so much. You're getting in and out of your breaks. It's so many weird, eccentric type of movements that you're making at that wide receiver position, whether if it's in the slot or the outside. But I think that he'll be fine. But if Jalen Tolbert is out there doing what he's doing and he's converting third downs, He's keeping the ball in Dak Prescott's hands. That's how you can be able to stay on the field, and he's going to gain the trust of Mike McCarthy, Mickey.
Yeah, what I do want to piggyback off that is I want, like I said, I want to see them target him a little bit more. Cause not saying I want them to put pressure on him, but because he is catching those, most of those passes that is being thrown his way. So I think that, just in my opinion, that maybe that's the next step in this process. Because even last year, he was kind of mentioning that he was still kind of thinking about the knee. It was more mental for him. He was as healthy as you can be going into a season. But he said last year was more mental for him. So maybe I'm just guessing. I don't know you guys, but I'm just saying maybe at this point in time, it's not necessarily mental for him anymore. But maybe the next step in the process is him, catching balls, feeling comfortable, actually being back out there, and feeling like he's being efficient. And then from there, like it's only week 2, so maybe we can see like you said, maybe by week 5, give him at least to the bye week to see. If he can adjust, like I said, give him the ball a little bit more, see how he does in the games. We do have, 2 games. I'm not saying there's, super games, but some games where we can kind of get him, a little bit more involved in the game, even get Tober a little bit more involved. We don't necessarily have to go to our playmakers, or CD Lamb or Cooks all the time. We can get Gallup involved more.
Yeah, that's why I say, and I'm so happy to see Kevontae Turpin too, just getting touches in the backfield.
Yes.
I mean, the dude has some jukes that he will juke you out of your sock.
Man, I've been feeling like Turpin, man, because when I see him make that dive on that touchdown touchdown last week, man, I'm just like, man, Turpin been waiting. Like he was like, I don't care what I gotta do in this, getting this end zone, but I'm getting in there. Like, cause he could have even really went down on the I think it was 1 or 2 yard line, because there were 2 Giants defenders right there in front of him before he made that leap into the end zone. So I think like you said, he just has so much juice in him. He has so much talent. He has just so much burst. He just wants to do so much. He don't care if he's catching the ball. He don't care if he's running the ball. I see him out there, even if it's CD getting the ball, he's running the CD to help him up off the ground. I think Turpin just wants to be so involved. Like he's doing, damn near everything, and he's being successful doing it. So I think seeing that, it gets his confidence up. Of course, it gets, McCarthy just, he just wanted, like you said, he just wanted to see it be done. Like he seen the guy come in last year, and like to have your OC, I don't want to say, we can almost say deliberately not use someone who has so much, for the most part on kick returns, punt returns. And when he's doing that, he's only catching the ball. He's calling touchbacks. So this guy is really getting no burn.
Yeah, getting a lot of burn. And I think that like with Mike McCarthy, he's going to continue to keep putting him into the system. Like I'm just excited just to see how they're going to continue to keep using him, because when at chat box, let me know, like when he was in the backfield, I said, oh yeah, they doing some different things.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, they doing some different things. They got him coming out the backfield, taking Tony Pollard off the field. That is so good, because now these defenses, they're overthinking. Remember we said in the beginning of the stream, once they get to overthinking, they get to biting. Once they get to biting,
I don't know if it was this past game or last weekend, but when they had Turpin and Pollard on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Or I don't know if it was Deuce or Turpin. They had 2 running backs on the field at the same time. And like you said, when you're just seeing different formations, like whether they do anything with the running backs or not, but just seeing different formations, different different targets. You're seeing new fresh guys get the ball this year. It's just definitely different. It's definitely refreshing.
Yeah. Shout out to my man Captain Taki. What's going on? Hey, make sure y'all smash that like button. Yeah, smash that like button on both sides. Yeah, because we both live on both of our streams. Hey, Mickey, I'm so proud of you, Mickey. I'm so proud of you.
Hey, man, look, shout out to you, man. Hey, look, I'm just back where I started, if I'm being real.
Yeah, y'all. This the first place where she started at. We brung her out, and you've been doing such a good job. I definitely wanted to just give you a shout out. You've been so consistent, and it takes a lot to be a content creator. You know what I mean? But you don't.
We were just talking about that. We were just talking about that. Me and JC, we just talk about how much it is, like even just having a rough day at work can impact, what you do the rest of the day. So, like I was saying to him offline, but I would definitely want to say online. Shout out to all any content creators, guys, females, whoever putting content together for anything. Period. Sports. Personal hobbies, anything, like just keep grinding, because it's definitely a second job. It's definitely,
Hey, this is that. I've been doing this for a year. It's been a year and like 5 months now. And like soon as I started, it took off. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, it seems like it's been a rush. But staying consistent, anything in life. Everybody, chat box, anything you're doing in life, consistency is everything. I just wanted to share that with you guys because, you guys are all family, and I appreciate y'all so much. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the JC Lounge. Anybody that's going to catch this video on the replay value, welcome to the JC Lounge. This is Mickey. I am JC. Shout out to y'all, man. Hey, look, 30-10 and 40 to nothing.
Yes, blowout number 2. Blowout number 2 of 21. The 21 games. We got that many to go.
yeah, I know, right? I know. All right, so this is what we're gonna do, because I did want to talk about the tight end position. We did talk about them a little bit, but it's definitely good to see Luke Schoonmaker and Jake Ferguson go out there and both get touchdowns.
Yes.
This is exactly what the doctor ordered. The 12 personnel. Can they continue to keep doing that? We all know that this is a game of mismatches. And this is what guys like Mike McCarthy want. You want those tight ends going up against those linebackers, those safeties, because that is the advantage for our Dallas Cowboys. But just seeing Schoonmaker, it's going to take some time, you know what I mean? But just understanding what Dak Prescott wants, I think that he can be able to thrive in this offense. But Jake Ferguson, I think he's about to take off, Mickey. He's going to have a big year.
Yeah. Now that he's had that catch, because he was actually a couple weeks ago. He's actually the guy I thought was going to get the first touchdown of the season, honestly. And I think he was the first. I think he was the first one targeted in the end zone. I think he just ended up dropping it. So and like I said, just seeing him turn up in preseason, you know what I'm saying? Just seeing how he was in camp, just fully embracing the tight end one position and going out there as we see so far. Of course they out there blocking like an MF. You know what I'm saying? Like these tight ends out here are really doing their job, and they're coming along slowly. We see they're making catches now. First game, of course, we were disappointed, but seeing these guys, we saw Dak go right back to him. He mentioned it in his press conference that he sat in the tight end room over the weekend, but before the Jets game. Kind of talked to him, kind of broke down, where they went wrong, where he wanted them to, where he wanted them to improve to, and we just kind of see that, happening already. We just, I think that has a lot to do with the chemistry of the team. They're already, working well together. They're already, pretty much on the same page, things like that.
Hey, Mickey, look at that. Fireworks.
Yes.
Hey, what you mean?
Like this dude was ready for this. This dude had been ready for it. He been ready. He was up there hurdling dudes last year. Like he been ready for it. Baby. I'm saying like he just needed to, I don't know, maybe he just had the jitters his first year being, the starting guy. Dalton Schultz isn't the security blanket anymore. So now he's, I guess quote unquote the security blanket, and not even security blanket, because he's not only just that catch and go down, catch and tackle and things like that. He catches the ball. He his attempts at yak, what I'm saying, like trying to put extra effort in the game, extra effort on the ball. So just seeing him, that the potential that he has to make those first downs, to make the touchdowns, because he caught that ball, I think, at the 3 to 4 yard line and had to run it in past those two guys. So just seeing the physicality, I'm not sure we would have seen that from Schultz. I'm sure he would have, went down there, right the line. So just seeing him, he catch his first touchdown pass. I'm sure we're gonna see many more.
Yeah, that's why I'm so excited. That offense. I mean, this been such a good stream so far. Like we've been digging in this offense. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mickey. But now it's time to talk about this defense.
Hey, that's waiting on.
Hey, listen, man. Look, Micah Parsons. I am so happy just to see this dog go out there week in and week out to be that leader on a team, on and off the field, to wreck games. And this is the type of guy that you can have at the linebacker position, as we saw, blitzing between A and B gaps, rushing on each side, on the left side or the right side. This guy is playing like the best NFL player in the league, and more than just a defensive end. This is quarterback. This guy is a true impact player, and I think that he's going to have to stay healthy. You know what I mean? Because if we're going to be able to take that next step against those 49ers, against Philadelphia Eagles, whomever we're playing, he's going to have to be healthy. And I think that if he can be able to have a full season being healthy, this guy is going to truly dominate. I see about 18 sacks. You know what I'm saying? I see about 18 sacks.
And for real, usually people probably say you're reaching, but the way this, I don't know what number he's at right now, but the pace he's going, like it's, like when you see that crawl, like you can't help but get hyped. Like when I see him first crawl,
like that,
you don't do it in camp, but it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? We know you ready to play and things like that. When I saw in that first game, I'm like, okay, he's about business. He means that. He means that crawl. He means that crawl.
Yeah, it's so crazy because, like, you know, when you have a defense like that, like I said, it can rub off on guys like Osa Odighizuwa. He's another one. He's another one that's just been out there and just having that type of energy. Him playing that 3 technique. I think he was playing some 5 technique. He's all throughout that defensive line as well. And the stunts. These offensive linemen, they're not understanding what we're trying to do. So they don't really know. Sometimes it looks like we can be rushing 4 or we'll be rushing 5. And once the play gets towards the end, we'll start on the outside and then we'll rush to the inside by the guards and we'll make a play. And all Micah Parsons needs is a half a second. You know what I mean? And he could be able to wreck a game. So it's really good.
And that's crazy you mentioned that, because even during preseason, I had tweeted Star at one Stargazer. You know, I do my show with her on Wednesdays. I even tweeted to her that Dan Quinn was still stunting our guys, you know, in the middle. And at first I was like, because he did that a lot last year, and sometimes it ended up, you know, he was kind of, for me, he was doing it just a little bit too much, and it kind of just sometimes kind of slowed down the progression of the defense. But this year, like you said, with the stunts, having Micah come all the way from the tackle,
yeah.
Like at the center, like you said, just having them like just go towards the middle, and that was kind of a thing that they were saying the Jets were going to do, because they had their guys lined up wide to try to make us kind of run towards the middle to have us face their defensive tackles. But seeing us do that, like you said, having Micah line up wide and just be able to go pretty much anywhere on the field. But he's he can do whatever. But just seeing him, like you said, get himself open to make plays, getting others on that line open to make plays, like you said, Osa having Armstrong, seeing D-Lo on the first defensive play, you know, have a tackle for a loss. It's like, wow, like, you know, these guys are really getting at it.
Yeah, big time, man. That's why I'm definitely excited, because, like, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to guys like Dan Quinn. DQ, I mean, it's going to take some time, but I think this is the 3rd year in this defense, and just being on the same page, the secondary from the defensive line, Micah Parsons, just being that queen on the chessboard, him having a type of talent like that is just going to make things better, as well as guys like Osa Odighizuwa, understanding wrestling, understanding leverage, doing little things like that. Both of them they were previously wrestlers in high school, and I think college. I think it was just high school, but both of them wrestlers, Osa and Micah Parsons. But just understanding leverage, using your hands, doing little things like that. I mean, it's going to make you successful in this league, man. And you know, that's what I did a breakdown on him too a long time ago on Osa, and I was talking about him being a wrestler. You know what I mean? Little things like that matters, Mickey.
Yeah, and we saw Micah. And now that you mentioned the hands, we actually, you know, I'm seeing clips of Micah helping out Mozzie and Cam with his hand placement, and we see them taking boxing classes together, and just seeing them get that extra time together. And already, just, you know, we talk about Micah on the field, but him kind of, I mean, he's always had that leadership role, but him taking that leadership role upon himself to teach Mozzie coming in, just, something he doesn't have to do. Of course, they're going to do that being, on the field, being, teammates and things like that, but taking extra time after practice, showing, that the new guy that's coming in, because, he's the rookie coming in, showing them that he's willing to take it, spend his time to teach him up, because, for them to be successful, they all got to be on the same page. So why not take the extra time and teach the young guy coming up, the same intensity that you want everybody to be on? So you can't, say you're a leader or only talk to the vets and not talk to the young guy coming, because if the young guy comes in on the same page that everybody else is on, as we see, everybody gonna eat, everybody gonna rock,
everybody gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, and we all know when it comes to Dan Quinn, he's bringing them in waves. He's been doing that ever since he was with the Seahawks. Bringing those guys in waves. You see guys like Dorrance Armstrong, he might have a big game, then another guy might have a big game, DeMarcus Lawrence, but it just seems like when it comes down to that defensive line, these guys are not stingy. You know what I mean? They get hungry, you know what I'm saying, as far as like rushing the passer, but just seeing everybody being successful, this is how you build championships, guys. Not having stingy guys, having elite guys all throughout the level of the defense, from the linebackers, the secondary, and the defensive line. If they can all be on the same page, I think they're the best defense, but I don't want to overhype it. It because you want to go out there and beat these teams. Like I said, it's the NFL, and these teams can remove you if you're not prepared. So just mentally prepare. You have the athleticism, you have the physicality. Just do your job, and I think if we can be able to do that, we're gonna be rocking and rolling, Mickey. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. I'm glad you said actually 2 points I want to make. One, like you mentioned with the depth on this team, like because you mentioned earlier about Micah staying healthy the whole season. Like you said, just really, like you said, pretty much all of our guys contributing and just being just forces on that field. It really gives them time because we even see in the first game where, I mean, well, I'll just say, like I said, speak for me, where you're seeing Micah on the sideline. I'm like, oh man, Micah's not in. Mike's, he's sitting out. It seemed like he's not in as much, but we know the defense, wasn't really on the field, in that first game a lot. Well, they were actually they were in the first game, but seeing him take that time off the field, you're kind of wondering what's going to go on with the D line. But like as we all know, just that D line just being so deep and everybody being able to eat. Micah doesn't necessarily have to be on the field, at all times, or for another guy to turn up. You know what I'm saying? So, just keeping that in mind. Not just for Micah, but for other guys on that line too. The heavy rotation we have, the depth guys we have, not just on the defense, but also on the offense as well, is able to keep other guys healthy. Like how we were able to have Cook sit out. How are we able to have Tyler Smith take an extra week because we have our alignment ready? So we also had the benefits of having good depth, but also the benefits of having strong vets as well.
Yeah, that's why I be preaching just take your time. Don't try to overdo it. Brandon Cooks, just get healthy. We all know that you're going to be a big part when it comes down to this offense, but that's why we got guys like Jalen Tolbert. You know what I mean? As far as this defensive line, if any of those guys are hurt, we know that when it comes down to wide receiver 4, Jalen Tolbert, when it comes down to cornerback 4, guys like Jordan Lewis, those guys are going to be seeing some play time. It can be 1, 2, 3 plays where they might be off, or a game that they missed, maybe a couple weeks, but it's good to see that we got guys. Shout out to Donovan Wilson, because I'm excited to see him when he gets back. But
I can't wait.
Yeah, Marquise Bell going out there and doing his job. Hopefully my guy DeMarvion Overshown. Remember the breakdown I did of DeMarvion Overshown. I was excited.
That was one of the first ones you did. When he hit the field, man. Like that dude. Yeah. I just know he would have.
Yeah.
I mean, we are seeing what we already seeing. Like I said, I'm not wishing for more, but I just can't imagine what he would have offered on the field. Being up there with either Damone Clark, or even being back there with LBEs and seeing what that second level could look like. Them guys get into the ball.
Yeah, that's why I say, man, when it comes down to that linebacker position, when you see guys like Damone Clark, I'm so happy just to see him and how he is progressing into our defense. And you got guys like LVE, guys that's making big time plays, big time hits. But what's going to be very important is that one technique position, making sure that you got guys like Jonathan Hankins there, stymieing those guys at the line of scrimmage, not allowing the offensive line to get to that second level. If we can continue to keep doing that, because when you think about it, Mickey, the running back Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook, I think they only had like 10 yards.
Breece Hall, I think he only got the ball 4 times.
Yes, that's bad play calling, because you cannot do that against a team like Dallas, because why? They're going to pin their ears back and get after the pass rusher, and you're playing into what we do best. You're playing into our strength. So that's 100% facts. I mean, we at least seen the Giants. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, Swain? How you doing? Hey, shout out to Swain. What's good, Swain? Hey, Swain, I ain't seen you in a minute. Hey, Swain, I got some water today, Swain. Usually in the JC Lounge, we always turn up. We always drink, have a good time, and always have good collabs. There's always good energy on this side. Make sure y'all smash the like button on this side. Make sure y'all smash the like button on Craven Cowboys side. Because you already know, we all a family. You know what I'm saying? You know how that goes.
That's right. Yeah, and actually, the point you made earlier about the defense not being stingy, I actually want to make that point earlier about the guys on offense as well. Because like I mentioned earlier about Mike McCarthy spreading the ball around. And, I mean, we seen CD being targeted heavy, but we didn't see that in the first game. So you would think, not saying you would think that CD would be mad about anything like that, but I think these guys like McCarthy mentioned, like, these guys know that they have, certain play calls for them, certain talents, certain strengths, you know what I'm saying? And that other guys on the team present other certain strengths. So I think they understand that the ball, not necessarily that it has to be spread around, but these guys can contribute so much individually on the field that when they bring it all together, it's just going to be a force. I think these guys recognize it, and it's good they recognize it early, but it's good they recognize it also within the game, because no one's head gets too big. No one gets, it's not about ego. It's not about individuality. Yeah. Like we see with these guys, coming in from the off season and even present till now, like these guys are talking about the future, talking about February, talking about what they want to win. So, these guys are, I think we see that these guys are on the same page, and these guys are, pretty much just on one board.
On the same page. And you want to know what's so crazy though, Mickey? Like, if you think about it, guys, like when it comes down to the Dallas Cowboys, like a lot of these players, they love to play for our team. If you look at other teams, you've seen a lot of disgruntled athletes that's mad about being there and they want out. You rarely see that when it comes down to the Dallas Cowboys, and you gotta credit guys like Jerry Jones and everybody upstairs just buying in, all these players buying in and stuff like that. It's a great organization, and I just think that this year is just a different feel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems like this is so different. That's why I was telling my boy, I was like, man, just because we blew out the Giants, that don't mean we not. Hey, look, we can do that against the Jets as well, and they did the same exact thing. Yeah, it could have been worse if you ask me. That game could have been a lot more. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. Like you said, there's a lot of different things. Like I mentioned yesterday on my show, like seeing there was a quote tweeted out by John Machota with Jerry Jones giving Mike McCarthy, giving our head coach. Not taking credit, not talking about Stephen Jones, not talking about Will McClay, talking about how Mike McCarthy, how most of the credit should go to him about how he got the team together for the past 2 games.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, man. So this is, hey man, it's like it's so much stuff to talk about, like the offense, the defense, special teams. What you think of the kicker, Brandon Aubrey? I mean, going in there and going for a 5 for 5, and he kicked a 55-yard field goal. That's good. You know what I'm saying? If you can find a guy that used to play soccer and has a good foot and can be able to angle right and can be able to actually kick a 40 and 50-yard kick, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. When it comes down to Maher, remember he was kicking like 60-yard kicks, but he couldn't make
couldn't make a darn extra point. It's like, come on, bro. It's like he's doing the opposite of what we want. But you know, like you mentioned, and I think I tweeted out yesterday or Sunday when the game was going on that I was definitely for sure eating my crow on Brandon Aubrey, because I we didn't really, I didn't see a lot.
You said that?
You said that? Making kicks and camp and things like that, but it's completely different when you're getting game. We saw him miss a couple kicks in preseason, so it still wasn't 100% even then. But just seeing this guy come in, still remain calm and being the only kicker on the roster, that's sometimes I say that could be good for a guy, but it can also be bad for a guy because you don't have anybody, no competition. You may get settled into your job thinking you don't really have to improve. But we've seen this guy even after missing the kicks come back last week, make a 59-yarder that he missed, prior, and like you said, making a 55-yarder this past game. Like we definitely got, like you said, we definitely got to see consistency going throughout the season, and for damn sure in the playoffs, see if he can, remain consistent.
Man. Hey, the thing that's so crazy though, y'all, like when it comes down to the kicker, like they see no contact. They see no contact throughout the whole season, but they are the most important position when it comes down to critical times in playoff games and games down the stretch right towards the very end. Just kick the dang on ball. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Please, because you don't want it to get, Monday you waking up and you know that the game came down to the kicker and you're like, dang, man, you know what I mean? So
one play for a whole 60-minute game and come down to that. I don't like those games either, so I definitely feel you on that.
That's why, but I think that he's off to a good start. I did want to talk about this real quick.
I did want to say before you switch, I do want to say that I do like that they're giving him chances to kick the ball. I would have like to see more, more goals on fourth down just to see how they look in the red zone. But it also was good. It's early in the season. I think I seen a tweet that kind of changed my mind on it. It was good to see him get those reps out there because and we can't go out there with 1-2 kicks and thinking he's good. Like it's still early in the season. We had padded time. We had the lead, so why not get the points?
They're allowing him to kick. You know what I mean? Because usually, if he sucks, they're going to go for it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, but the thing is, we want our team to be able to score once we get into the red zone. I think we were like 2 for 6 last game. We got to make sure that we are on point when it comes down to stuff like that, because when you're playing against the 49ers or the Philadelphia Eagles, you're going to want to finish those drives with a touchdown. You don't want to, shave 4 points off the board because of it. You know what I'm saying? Field goals are important. But
you don't want them with any kind of reach. Like you said, especially in those kind of games when they all of a sudden start wanting to play hard, or the defense, they may get some kind of momentum going. You definitely don't want to be within the range of any of those teams. Yeah,
exactly. But I just feel so good because of the defense. Like, you can't just be thinking that you're just going to be trying to play up tempo type of ball against us. Like, and if you're running east and west you're playing into our strength. We have so many athletes that can roam sideline to sideline. If you're going to have a chance against us, you're going to have to run straight at us. If you're going to play around, then you're going to play into our game, and we're going to remove you off the field. And we're going to see that a lot this season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you heard Micah saying this presser, like, look, we want to make teams feel like they shouldn't even be on the same field as us. Like, when he said that, I'm like, hey, with that defense, like you said, when we always say every year they're different, but like when you hear certain words, like when you hear parsons say like no one's on our level. When you hear, even I don't know if you heard Dak's presser saying, hey, I'm tired of the interception questions. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear these guys like saying, hey, this is what it is. I'm tired of it. We focus on ourselves over here. F what y'all got to say. Like it's definitely different.
Did you peep though? Like when you seen the interview with Dak Prescott, it seemed like when he didn't seem robotic, like he was trying to impress people. He seemed so free. Like you could just tell that he was like, "What's good, y'all? What's going on?" You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. I feel you on that. That's crazy you point that out, because I do notice that like he is a little bit more relaxed. He's kind of joking a little bit more now. He's kind of like
not robotic.
Like you see those pre-program answers, like when we hear those answers, like we know Dak, just setting up, because he knows how the media guys are, but actually, kind of interact, like you said, interacting with them, listening to the questions, like saying like, hey, like, I may have that step from last year, but are you guys focused on this year? Like even he said like that's last year. Like we didn't think about last year. Like if y'all still thinking about last year, then that's on y'all. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, facts. That's what I'm saying. And I'm so excited. I mean, from the offense, defense, special teams, we all know that everybody's going to have to be on point if we're going to get to where we want to go. But I did want to go to this real quick because I saw this. Let me go here. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. I think I got it. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Talking about Trayvon Diggs, because we didn't really talk about Trayvon Diggs just for like 5 minutes, or the secondary as a whole. Like just going against the Jets. I mean, having 5 targets and 0 catches allowed, 1 interceptions, 2 forced incompletions with a 0 passer rating. That is fireworks. Hey, look, man. I seen that. I said, when you got guys like Stephon Gilmore right next to you, Deron Bland, like I know we got beat on that one play. It's going to happen, Cowboys Nation.
Yeah.
But my thing is when it comes down to the cornerback position, I've said it before, but you got to have that short-term memory. Some of these cornerbacks out here in the NFL, when you get beat, sometimes they never recover mentally. And if they don't recover mentally, they're going to continue to keep getting beat. The thing is about Stephon Gilmore, he is such a seasoned veteran that being around guys like Trayvon Diggs and being around Deron Bland, he's going to get those guys right mentally. That's what it comes down to when it comes down to the cornerback position, positioning yourself, getting yourself in a way that you could be able to make a play on the ball and just go out there and just go do your thing, man. But having that short-term memory is going to be very important down the stretch because you will be beat on defense. But if you can be able to recover, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm glad you mentioned Gilmore with short-term memory because he did end up getting beat on that touchdown play. But I don't know if you guys took a look at the box score, but he actually led the team in tackles on defense. So him still being around the ball, him still making plays, him still making sure that those plays are stopped dead. If he's in the area, he wants to make sure that the ball is not going to get past him. So people may take that one play and run with it. Oh, it was Gilmore. He got beat or this, that, and the third. But if you, like I said, if you go back and look at the stats, he led the team in tackle. Like you say, he's getting those other guys together. Like
that seemed like Hooker was in the way. Malik Hooker was kind of in the way. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
If you're gonna get in the way, bro. If you're gonna get in the way, bro, make the tackle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We kind of bust through, but I mean, credit to.
Next thing you know, they're both running after him. Yeah. So it's kind of just like you gotta hope your teammate helps you out there. But he said it's one play. These guys. Like you said, short-term memory. They got right back in the game. When they got back on the defensive side, made another stop. Like you said, it's about short-term memory and making sure that you finish the plays. Play through the whistle, making sure that you have your teammates back and just making sure that you guys still stay efficient on the field.
Right. So yeah, man, this was definitely good, man. I'm so glad that you tapped in with me. You know what I'm saying? What's today? Tuesday. Yeah, on a Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah, but we're definitely going live in the JC Lounge on Friday. I'm going to be on with Coach Cowboys on Thursday. So you already know, man, we just working our way around the block. We spinning the block. You already know what it is.
But I'm just really loving this team. Like you said, just us having a different mindset, and even not just being aggressive on defense, but also being on offense. Is one point I wanted to see. I think I wanted to say that I think Mike McCarthy said we had 2 or 3 plus drives that were 75 yards or more. So, and I know typically last year, for me, it would be a personal nightmare us starting before the 10-yard line and starting in our own end zone. It's scary for most teams. You know what I'm saying? So for us, we know we usually come out with a run play, but just being conservative, just trying to not get knocked back for a safety. But seeing us coming out throwing, from our own end zone and on a slant, and actually seeing it being executed, go through and getting some yardage gain. You know what I'm saying? And being able to being able to beat the DB, and just being able for us to have to really pretty much just make enough room for us to be comfortable and just go back to the game plan that we wanted to. But us coming out aggressive out of the end zone like that really just took me by surprise, because we come out running, or we stay conservative, not trying to lose the ball that deep in our end zone. But for us to come out like that, I was definitely surprised.
Yeah, definitely surprised. Shout out to Nisi. She said when Dak wiped his nose, I knew it was on. Hey, fireworks. You already know. With his eyes, you can just tell that this guy was ready to play. But I wanted to say one quick thing, though. Like, when it comes down to this West Coast offense, games might end quicker.
Yeah.
Just think about that real quick. Let that sink in. Games might end a little bit more quicker, because the thing is, it's going to be more plays, more slants, more drags, jailbreak screens, just to be able to control that clock. This is prime West Coast offense. That's what they do. So it's going to be a ton of plays. But the thing is, what Mike McCarthy is trying to do, he's trying to rest up that defense.
Yes.
The thing versus Kellen Moore, trying to score so quickly like it's some air show. Next thing you know, the defense is back on the field, because it's either we probably score quick or we got a turnover. I mean, we turn the ball over, and then next thing
3 and outs in 15 seconds is crazy.
Yeah, so now the defense being out there, and your offense is just running that juggernaut. The defense is just trying to get it together, and I just think that both of them complement each other, just like Nisi said from the early in the stream. Complementary football. If we can be able to do that, we can get to where we want to go, y'all.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like you said, just having and not just, and what I love about it is not kind of when I thought about it, it's not just resting our defense like in that moment in the game, but you're also, like you said, it's a long season. You're resting them like essentially early in the season. Like they're getting that play time in practice. They're practicing against our offense. So they're not, practicing against nobody. So they're getting that time in off. They're not, necessarily losing time during the week. But for them to have, I'm not saying they're having a day off, but for our defense to spend 17 minutes on the field, this past week, and I'm sure that does a lot for their stamina, not just for the next game, but also throughout the season. We have a very, very early bye week, week 7. So even after being off that week 7, we still have 10 more weeks after that to go, 9 to 10 more weeks. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Even the holiday schedule, you know how that is for the Cowboys. So and I think just taking a little look, just kind of overall look at the schedule, it is a little bit easier as far as travel. I think, but what I will say, I do appreciate that. I don't know if they did that intentionally, but them having, being able to spend more time on the East Coast, and instead of having to go back and forth, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, that not only does take a toll, on their bodies, on the field, but takes a toll, physically having to travel. So, like you said, just being able to rest the defense early in the season, and then if you maintain that same game plan down the line of the season and with the rotation of our guys,
turn these dudes loose. Turn them loose.
It's about time to play.
Let's go.
Yes, these guys are going to be ready. Parsons is going to be ready. Armstrong, Lawrence, like our top guys are going to be ready to dominate when the time comes.
Yeah, facts. Hey, thank y'all so much. Hey, Mickey, we got to do this again. You know what I'm saying?
We definitely do. You said the games go by fast. They're streaming by fast. It's already an hour.
Already an hour. So much things to talk about. That's why I say when you got having good conversations and you ain't been on in a while, so this was gonna be easy breezy.
Yeah. True.
Hey, but we'll definitely tap in soon. We on the Twitter or the X, whatever they want to call it. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, hey, chat box, I appreciate y'all so much. Make sure y'all smash that like button for both of us. Hit that subscribe button on both sides. I appreciate y'all. Anybody that don't see this, that not seeing the live stream, once you catch that replay value, make sure you guys show love. And I appreciate y'all so much. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Yeah, I appreciate you, JC. Appreciate everybody in the chat for coming through. Like I said, thank you for your time. And JC, thank you for having me on, bro. Like I said, hey man, I appreciate it a lot. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you already know it's home field turf on this side.
Yeah, always, man, all day, every day. You already know.
All right, y'all. We'll talk to y'all soon.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
All right, y'all. Gone.